I know you had fond memories of the Fab Five, Coach. I hesitate to turn you loose on this one. I'm sorry.
I enjoyed watching them chase Damon Bailey around. I mean, there wasn't one of them that could guard him.
And you're being so kind, my friend.
I'm not real kind about that bunch and all they stood for.
Okay. Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to take a little trip.
It was only fair, okay? And spinning back out is little short, and Reed is short on the shot. Battle for it on that sideline, and Kansas able to save it. Little off the dribble. Doesn't get the bounce, but it's tapped back in. Markeith gets the hoop, and everything is going the Jayhawk way.
Hamilton will look off the dribble here. He gives it up. Look at Hamilton hanging on to his shirt with his thumbs.
And Jacobin nails a three ball. They're going to have to keep him on the floor, Coach, for his firepower. They're going to need scores. He and Hamilton are going to have to wade in here for him.
And they're going to have to do some things offensively that maybe you might not like. Like that shot was not the greatest of shots that Brown hit there.
Taylor wraps through with another drive to the rim. A tough basket. Jacobin at the halftime buzzer comes up a little bit short. And the Jayhawks, in front of thousands of their loyal fans, open up a huge lead. They are 30-1 when leading at the half, and that's the lone loss against the Longhorns. And Rick Barnes is with Holly Rowe. Let's go to Holly.
Coach Barnes, how did it change your ability to score inside with Thomas Robinson on the bench the last 8 minutes?
Well, you mean Tristan?
I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. Well, we weren't very good from the beginning. You know, I didn't think we did the things that we wanted to. They came out, they were terrific, and we're just giving them way too many baskets, too impatient on the offensive end, and so I don't know if it mattered with anything with the way that we were playing. We went way too long without getting him a touch, which we shouldn't do.
What does it help that you were in this exact same situation when you were in Lawrence? You were down by 13 at the half and came back and won that game.
Well, I'm hoping that we can't play any worse, and you know, I hope that we can come. We got to get some stops, though. I don't think we've had 3 stops at any point in time. I don't know if we've had 2, but and on the offensive end, we just really got away from what we need to do.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Holly, thank you very much. So Tristan Thompson, who was 7 of 9 against Texas A&M, has only 3 points. Now, let's join Dari Noko with the Cisco halftime report. Take it away, Dari.
All right.
The Jayhawks dominating, but they had Tyshawn Taylor step up, return to the starting lineup, and score 13. Holly Rowe, I know you spoke with Bill Self about that. What did he have to say?
Well, I asked him why he started Tyshawn. He said, you know, he played well yesterday. He had 15 points yesterday, and I felt like he gives us a speed element that we don't have when he's in the game, particularly because of the way that Texas pressures the ball. He's able to leak out and get some transition buckets, which he has with 13 first-half points. But, guys, I also asked him about reminding his team of that loss last year or earlier this year in Lawrence, and he said, I reminded the guys at half. He said it's a good team, a long game. We'll have to play every minute of the second half.
Yeah, that's what Coach Knight is saying too. And so here we go. It'd be Kansas opening possession. The Markeith picked up. Let me correct myself. It was Marcus who picked up that foul, and that's number 2. And that's why you saw Bill Self, of course, with his head in his hands over there on the bench.
Now, this seems like a simple thing here, but to me, if I'm the Kansas coach, I want these 2 points to be registered. I want us to start in our first possession with a couple of points, and if he gets both of these, well, then we'll get one now. Then I think we're off to a start in the second half. We've increased our lead. Now I'm sitting over there on the bench and got my hands pretty tightly clasped, hoping that we can get a one-point lead for this half in our first possession.
How about that?
I'd be saying
we brag on him, and he misses both free throws.
But I'd be saying a couple of things to myself now. We've passed up our first possession. I never liked that.
Hamilton hits Johnson with a nice pass, and Johnson's on the free throw line, and that's on one of the Morrises again.
You know, I'll tell you something. We mentioned this last night in the Texas game against A&M. Hamilton, when he catches the ball, he has a great grasp of where people are. That was a tremendous pass he made. It was across the body pass going opposite the direction he was in, and it's what led to putting Johnson on the line for the 2 free throws.
And Johnson finally scores for the Longhorns.
Look at this. He's all the way back, looks completely back, 90 degrees in the other direction. That was a great pass, but it's a great pass because he looks. Hamilton is an offensive player, a scorer that knows where everybody is.
Well, Markeith is going to sit down, Coach, because that was his 3rd personal. Now, Marcus is playing with 2 personals. He stays on the floor right now. So that is a tough number. And an early 3 on Keefe here puts him on the sideline. But one of the things we should point out going forward, I know some folks are watching Kansas maybe for the first time. They are one of the deeper teams going forward into the NCAA tournament. Thomas Robinson, wearing 0 down below, is a very, very good low block player coming off the bench. And now,
you know, he didn't play as well last night as we've seen him play. But you're absolutely right about him coming into a game and playing well.
And now Johnson, Bob, has 3 for the Horns with that foul, and Taylor will bring it on down.
Kansas got out of a tough situation here because they've been outscored by 1 point thus far, and it was basically going to be 3 if they didn't come up with the ball there. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but it's enough to worry about.
Nice feed by Taylor. Robinson finishes.
Robinson was ready, and Taylor had great vision, just like Hamilton we showed a little while ago.
Morningstar.
Well, I mean, there's a big spread now, 16-point spread, but Texas is moving quickly toward the 1-1. If it gets closer, then that, as soon as they can get into it, and they've got a head start toward the 1-1, it's going to be big for them. Hamilton, I think, will look to try to go baseline. No, he's going to give it out.
Robinson is fronting Thompson. He would not let him throw the entry pass. They have done a tremendous job on the freshman here today. Hamilton, Robinson with a defensive rebound. Taylor loses it, however. Hamilton dives in for it, and it's a held ball situation. Kansas basketball.
Reed must be looking for good points. He came into that scramble there and picked everybody up. Reed was like the good Samaritan coming into that scramble.
Morningstar shoots the baseline. Here is Reed with that pull-up jump shot. Good shooter, but not this time. Hamilton clears.
Well, you're right about Reed is good on that medium range jump shot that he pulls up out of his dribble with. Very quick off the dribble and up.
They finally get it to Thompson. Bodies go flying. Thompson on the drive scores. Barnes can't believe it. But Thompson has finally contributed down low. He now has 5 points. He had only 1 field goal and a free throw in that first half. Marcus wants to go to work. They've got him far from the basket, but there's that room, and as he turned, there was a foul called on Texas. And that's the 3rd on him.
Boy, that was just, I mean, there had to be a foul called on that one. Thompson just pushed his man completely out of bounds. I don't know how they missed that call.
And Thompson has just picked up his 3rd down here at the other end. So Barnes will make a substitution. Morningstar using the glass.
Well, that was Thompson's 4th foul down here on this baseline. Oh.
Robinson banging Tristan pretty good, ball out of bounds, and it goes over.
Hamilton just got caught up with Morningstar's feet and coming across the floor. No foul, just two kids banged into each other. It wasn't a trip. Couldn't call a foul on that one, but it cost Texas a possession.
So Wanmini returns to the floor. He and Johnson, along with Hamilton, and Tristan Thompson with 3 fouls, sits down. It is different against this Jayhawk front line than it was last night for Tristan Thompson. Robinson finally picks it up, and here's Morningstar. It will step back, knock it down.
Morningstar's shooting's been a little bit better tonight or this afternoon than it was yesterday, and as they progress into the NCAA tournament, Reed and Morningstar helping them a little bit with threes is going to be very, very important to him.
What a fine shooter Jordan Hamilton is. As Coach pointed out in the first half, sometimes his judgment is not the best, but man, when he gets on his spot, he is smooth.
You know what he has, Brett, is a variety of shots. I mean, he's got turnarounds, he's got the three-point shot, he's got the opportunity to really do a lot of things when he has the ball and he's on the move with it, going to the bucket or outside the bucket.
So Reed is called with the foul. Watch the knee on this replay. You've got to be a little more subtle than that. You got to do what Michael Jordan used to do to clear space.
What, jump over guys?
Yeah. You and Michael, you formed a pretty good duo on that Olympic team. You didn't have to do much. You found out how easy it was for Phil Jackson, eh?
I told him against Uruguay that I wanted the game to be over in 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and there was a timeout at 4 minutes, and Michael came to the bench and said, Coach, we're a minute ahead of schedule. He was great. I'm telling you, there's never been an athlete better to work with from a team concept than Michael Jordan was.
Guys.
Thanks, Dari. And now for tonight's Fresh Take brought to you by Subway. Joe Lunardi's top 8. And what's interesting on there is the only 2 that have been eliminated on that list are the 2 Big East teams, Notre Dame and Pittsburgh, Coach.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about a couple of days ago, Brent, about just how difficult it is to go through the Big East tournament. You're going to play 3 or 4 very good teams if you get all the way to the final game.
There is that list again. Ohio State, the overall #1, and Kansas certainly showing you today why they're the #2 overall. Notre Dame and Pittsburgh would be #1 seeds, according to Joe Lunardi. Remember this unofficial list, and Texas clinging to the final #2 spot. Robinson with the field goal and the foul now comes to the free throw line. And Thomas Robinson playing much better today than he did last night.
Well, you know, what a good tip by Morningstar. Good thought, but Reed was a little bit slow reacting to it. No, you're absolutely right, Brent, in what you're talking about there. I think that's a very good point.
Hamilton stays with it and then hits Jacobin Brown for a 3. I expected Hamilton to pull the trigger in there and threw a nice pass to Jacobin.
Well, you know, we've talked about Hamilton's passing. He's as good a passer for a very good scorer as I think you're ever going to see. See, no help got back.